What's up, everyone? It's Gavin.
What's good, everybody? It's Marcus or Pink. What's up? What's up?
What up? What up? It's Charles or Chuck.
Charles in 240p this week. Amazing resolution. What up? What's going on? You got Hazmatt. What's going on, everyone? Hope you had a good week. I think we are so back, by the way. I think we watched a couple amazing tournaments this weekend. Had so much fun watching Kagaribi, of course, is probably my favorite, and then also ReWired Fest. Very top-heavy tournament, actually. A lot of fun sets going on there. A lot of consistency we're seeing across the board from, I'd say, 3 players that we'll talk about in a little bit. But before we get into that, we got to shout out, talk about good tournaments coming up. You got to talk about Watch the Throne. Charles, what are you most excited for in Watch the Throne?
I'm really excited that we got a Sheik. I'm a huge Sheik fan, so I love seeing that character being played. And I mean, Void doesn't compete as much anymore, but I think we have a new best Sheik in America in WebJP. So really excited to see WebJP get to compete against all these other players alongside of the other 2 invited players through the voting process, along with Luis and Karama. So Luis, Karama, and WebJP are going to be the final 3 locked in for the voting process. And we got a couple more, 3 more qualifying tournaments to go. So really excited for that. And I think our base invited roster, super sick. And also excited for the Patreon content today. If you guys do want to support us, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know. We'll figure out the question of the episode later on. But comment, leave a comment. And of course, the Patreon episode. If you guys want to support us, you can check it out on the Patreon. We have bonus content every week. This week, we're going to be reacting to Shogun's Smash documentary, Japanese Smash documentary. So I'm very excited for that. The Smash scene in Japan has been a huge part of this like current game Smash scene for quite some time, ever since Brawl. So really, really want to go back and see some of that history with that region, because I feel like the spotlight has only really been on Japan as of recently, but they have a very long history, just as we do, as all the other Smash regions in Smash have. So super excited for that.
Yeah, I guess with that, it's just the first episode too, so there's a lot more to come, which I'm super stoked about. So, all right, guys, we'll do a little around the horn. What do you guys think? Did you watch some tournaments this weekend, Marcus?
Yeah, actually, I had a little bit of time, not a ton of time, but I had a little bit. Grab my phone real quick. Oh no, crying, my bad. So, yeah, I watched a good bit of ReWired Fest. Not too much of Kagaribi. I actually did the thing again. Like, I got to a point where I was like, Acola's gonna win, and I woke up and I was like, ooh, quite a
It's
surprise.
funny you say that.
Nice surprise.
I was doing the same thing, and as I gave up and I went to sleep because I thought Miya was gonna win by the time I woke up. So I'm glad I was right. I was pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, dude, actually, earlier today, I was rewatching that set with... So first off, shout outs to Miya. One of the most consistent players. I feel like we don't talk about Miya enough, period, just because Acola overshadows Miya just a little bit. The rivals, they play each other all the damn time, and Miya was finally able to take... It feels like it's been such a long time since Mia's taken even a set off of Acola, let alone 2 sets back-to-back and winning the tournament. So Acola's dropped 2 tournaments over the last 2 weeks. Washed alert or what? No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm still that guy. A couple interesting things, because actually did VOD review for the first time in a while. Like, just how did Miya do it? Right, like that was the big question. And you guys, before we went live, I'd love to hear more from Marcus and Tweek specifically in terms of the play style that Miya plays with, how fast he plays. The things I really looked at were like some Game & Watch specific stuff and just some matchup specific stuff. I think something that's not talked about enough is how often these guys have played, like so much. And I think that naturally amps up and moves up this tempo of the gameplay quite a bit. It's just something you see, like, oh, these guys play each other, like Light and Mars type stuff, right? Like, you know how the other person's going to play. You kind of cut out, you like trim the fat on some of the neutral interactions and stuff like that. But some of Game & Watch stuff, like up air underneath the anvil for pressure. Game & Watch's pressure is just so good in general in that matchup still. You can go off stage, you can edge guard. The bucket against Minecraft and Anvil against Minecart and Anvil is so good. Like, if you see, I think he even does it, I think in Grands, where he uses the bucket to reflect the Anvil back up and kill Steve off the top. Like, just Game & Watch is, through some like kind of roundabout ways, I would say, able to keep his pressure up and going. So even like up air underneath the Anvil is so good. Like, I don't know, Miya, I just think it was such an incredible display of what you can do in that matchup and what Game & Watch can do specifically, but also maybe some ways to navigate around the matchup in general. So what do you guys think about the way Miya played both of those sets? Yeah.
I mean, he just has a lot of counterplay to Steve. I think Game & Watch having up air specifically helps a lot with very safe pressure, right? Like, oh, you're going to minecart above me? Let me just throw out up air. If you get out of it soon, like you'll get hit by it. And even if you bring out anvil, you'll still get hit by it. You can cruise by it, and then I can space your landings with nairs. I feel like one thing that Miya is extremely good at is spacing neutral. Usually we see nair used in a much more aggressive way, but Miya will do like straight fall down landing nairs and stuff like that and then convert off the last hit. So I just think the way he plays advantage state is so good because not only can you set up air in a lot of scenarios, but you can also set up forward air. His forward air set play is so strong against just in general, but I think against Steve, it helps a lot because it's a great way to deal with block. And he just does everything right in this matchup, using the up B to counteract close up mine carts and stuff like that. I am very impressed with Miya in general when it comes to just how many matchup specific tools we see in this matchup. And I mean, obviously Game Watch is a really strong character, and a lot of people would say Game Watch is pretty simple, but I think Miya can make the character look pretty impressive in terms of like the things you can do to counteract the strongest character in the game, right?
Yeah, and just counterplaying all Steve's strong stuff too, right? You can up B to keep the pressure going, all that startup and all that good stuff. Something else I'd like to call out is this is breaking the curse of in the last 6 times that they had Game 5 encounters, Miya didn't win a single one. So in winners finals, he's 1-6 in Game 5 scenarios against Acola, which is so difficult to do. Not only is Acola obviously the number 1 player right now, but keeping up the pressure and keeping up how perfectly you have to play against Steve and Acola for 5 games is just insanely difficult. And then he won in a 3-1 fashion in grand final. So Miya really on the board. It might be turning the tides a little bit and how their set play might go. What do you think? I want to hear more from Tweek actually about the way Miya plays the game and how he dictates the pace of the matchup too, because you were talking about that a bit before we went live.
Yeah. I guess first thing is I've gotten one set in with Miya, and I think something that's scary when I play Meister that I tried to trim out of my gameplay was when I play Meister a bunch, it feels like I lose my stocks the earliest if I like do a greedy air dodge in disadvantage and get like reset into like a down smash or something. And with Miya, the last time I played Meister, it went really well, and it felt like I played really patient and like I knew how to navigate around Game & Watch's advantage state. But Miya plays so fast that it feels like it forces those habits out of you, even if you think you're ready to fight Game & Watch. And when I was watching the Acola versus Miya sets, it was the same thing. Like there's so much pressure and like you know, new situations like revealing themselves so quickly that Acola just had to guess so much, and like even if like the guess was correct, it just like the advantage state still like resets itself. And I do think it's the speed at which Miya plays, and also the comfortability in the matchup. Like like Charles was saying, a lot of it's really safe. Like the up B just beats minecart, it beats anvil, so it's like some invincibility, some speed, while still getting like a nice hit in and just resetting the advantage state. Same thing, like when the anvil's in the air, a lot of characters have a hard time dealing with that window when the anvil hits their shield before it hits the ground. Like that's a pretty small window, but Game Watch can up B out of there before the anvil's even on the ground. So sometimes Miya would parry the anvil and then up B, and the anvil's not even on the ground yet, or just get out of there before it hits the ground in general. So there's a lot of matchup experience there, and also just the speed we see from Miya in the first place. And especially if you consider how aggressive Miya is, like Steve isn't going to be in the most optimal position tools wise and resources wise, no matter what. If the game is relatively even or if Mia's winning, there's even some pretty cool movement from Miya. Like down air is so strong that he would down air the blocks, the block would disappear, and he was able to like reset his lag while
So
throwing
good.
out pretty strong
No
move.
lag.
It also went really well with like the vertical pressure, with like threatening to reflect the anvils and stuff, and also Miya would get up there and try to like get a kill off the side with like the down air that would not spike or anything like in his advantage state. So I think I think he played it really well, and I think a lot of it just comes down to the mental stack is just too much for anyone, regardless if you're experienced or not. Versus Miya and Game & Watch, I think anyone is going to have a hard time just with how threatening everything is. And that reminds me a lot of like when I played Smash the last day or two. That was something I was thinking about. Like, what can I do with my gameplay to like make the mental stack so ridiculous that like there's no one on the planet that can deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, what can I do with my character? Just throw out so many situations at someone and all that stuff that they just have no choice but to lose their stock, kind of thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Gavin,
you know what's up there to that.
you played him at SmashCon in bracket, but you also played him afterward, right? And you were
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
like he's like one of the hardest people you've ever played, right? Like,
Yeah. Afterwards, I wasn't like using Diddy Kong or anything like that. I was kind of like taking the opportunity to use as many characters as I could just to see as much as I can and really have some stuff to think about. And yeah, he beat me pretty much every game, if not every game, uh, with all the characters I tried. And yeah, it just really feels like he has so much experience and he just plays super fast. And I would even genuinely compare the speed to Light and Spargo. Um,
Wow.
yeah, the damage output is ridiculous. The speed is ridiculous. The consistency is ridiculous. It feels like you don't really have consistent ways to win, which is interesting because Game & Watch definitely has a handful of flaws that I'm so used to being on the table no matter what. But it's hard to even consider them when I was playing against Miya, and it was the first time I'd ever because I've actually always been in the Game & Watch isn't top tier camp. Um, and this definitely had me like second guessing it for the first time. I'm pretty stubborn about how I feel about certain things, so this was the first time I was like, okay, like Game Watch is pretty insane. So yeah, definitely taking those games I got in with Miya, and really thinking about them for the next time because I feel like if you want to win a big tournament, you have to consider that you might have to run into this player. So
dang,
I
that
feel
just
like
reminded me. Dabuz is
Okay.
the GOAT.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
yeah,
What in
Yeah.
the world?
Yeah, the
How
buzz
did
beat this dude.
You know how many
With
times I
both
think
the
that
win
just
and
throughout the
Miya.
day?
Three
You know,
times?
just
Twice, 3 times? Twice in SmashCon, once in Japan, I think.
Yeah, with Rosa.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't think
might
he's
be a
ever lost
knowledge
to
diff
him.
right there. Veteran diff,
No,
right?
there's a lot of roses in Japan,
There's a
man.
lot of roses in Japan.
True.
There's a good amount. Like the buzz said that he learned a
Ah,
bunch of Rosa tech when he was there, and then leveled up his Rosa.
that's your first mistake. There is Rosa experience. There's not Dabuz experience. All right, put some respect on my man's name. Okay, it's true
Well,
though.
I'm just
It's
saying
true.
that it's not like I didn't know how to. I wasn't
yeah.
aware Luma could do that. Like, trust me, I'm pretty sure he's aware of like all the
Ah,
cheeky like Luma tricks. I mean, the buzz is just outfunding him,
that's
which
what I'm
is even
saying.
more impressive. That's why I'm saying it's more so on the player than like because there's gonna be scenarios where someone gets a blindside win or a curveball win on someone because it's like, oh
Sure, yeah.
shit, didn't know you could do that. Cool. Well, I'm a better player than you, so every single set after this, you're gonna lose. And that I've seen that happen to a lot of
Oh
players
yeah.
where it's like, oh, you just got the matchup diff. But trust me, the Buzz has got no matchup diff on Miya. It's all player to player.
To be clear, what I meant was the Dabuz matchup, not just Rosa specifically. Like
Right.
like playing Dabuz is like we've always said it. It's its own entity or beast in since Smash 4, since whatever, playing against Dabuz is like a rite of passage in a certain sort of way. So you might be beating other top players or people even maybe ranked higher than Dabuz, but can you beat Dabuz? It's not looking good right now for Miya. Any other thoughts on Kagaribi before we go on? We could do around the horn, then we can get into ReWired Fest.
Absolutely.
What?
I got
I got some people I want to
Mad
talk
thoughts.
about for sure. Go ahead, Marcus. Go.
An extreme amount of thought.
I've been thinking.
Okay, all right.
I almost
Bro, be
started
thinking.
off. I almost
Okay.
started off flaming. My bad. Bro, how does Hero like get any placements with Bowser? I just don't get
Dude.
it. Like it's
Bowser
like
definitely
consistent.
sucks.
It is consistently like I'm doing extremely well. I don't get it. Shout outs to Hero just sticking with Bowser. Shout outs to Yoshi Dora sticking with Yoshi and just like. Speaking of the
Bro's
top
just
three
shouting
at
out
that,
dinosaurs right now.
that's true. Prehistoric times.
Mario
hey,
dinosaurs.
hey, I mean, that's the time I come from, my time period. But anyway, shout outs to Wi-Fi. I mean, the top three from that tournament were all heavy Wi-Fi grinders or Smash Made or whatever, online players. Zach Ray's the GOAT. Bro just shows up, plays for fun.
Zachary out here getting fifth for
The
fun.
most
For fun.
Chad player who has ever lived, and it's not
So sick,
close.
dude.
Literally a Chad.
Bro played against Steve and Kazuya, got blasted, and was like, dang, that was great. All right, see you next time. Like,
It's so funny because he's like laughing it off too. Like,
yeah,
he knows.
like what?
Oh yeah,
He
he
knows.
knows. Yeah, he's always known. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pit is really, really good and fun. Like,
I don't know which
believe
one's a
me?
bigger lie.
Try Pit. Pit is very intuitive, very good,
That's true.
very
I agree with
fun. That character is really good. I swear.
I have a lot of fun
What
when
is
I play Game
what
Watch
is
too.
really good?
Game Watch intuitive too.
Yeah, Game Watch mad
Okay,
intuitive.
By
Bro.
really good, I'm serious when I say this. I think Pit is good enough that I would consider playing Pit in tournament if I cared enough to, like, if I liked Pit enough. I think Pit is good enough to main in tournaments, 100%. And I will never, bro. Please believe me, it's true.
This is Zach Ray Hope.
Now, when you say
No, it's not.
Bro's a fan.
like
My
main
Pit
with the
would win a
secondary.
tournament. I'm not kidding. My Pit would
Which
win
tournament?
What
a tournament in my region or something. My Pit would win 1,000%.
To be fair, tournaments in your region are actually really hard. So
Yes,
like
I could
Yeah,
win with Pit.
So I thought it was a fair
100%.
point.
I mean, you won with Sora, so can we? Like,
And I'm not shitting
Pit
on
better
anyone.
than Sephiroth?
I'm saying I would seriously consider putting time into Pit, and I think I could win. I genuinely believe
is
that.
Pit
Did you
better
hear
than
Charles's
Sephiroth?
question? Yeah.
I don't know if Pit's better than Sephiroth. Probably. Like, Pit is good. Pit is good
I told you Sephiroth sucks.
and fun. And Loki.
Well, no, it's a Pit's good. Sephiroth's also good.
Loki has some like
Just not as
crazy
good.
stuff. Like crazy.
That's true.
stuff.
I feel like you could win a tournament with Game Watch too. I just have a feeling.
See, like this isn't fun. Like,
Well, I don't think you could win the tournament. I don't know. I actually don't
Really, Game
think
Watch?
Gavin could win
I don't
the
think so
tournament.
either.
I don't either.
You get so bored.
Yeah, he just gets bored and he
Bro
DQs
falls
himself.
asleep. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I just got bored.
Pit is good.
Um,
All right, that's the most emotion you're getting out of me today. But
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Zachary is the coolest. Super good with all of his characters. Plays amazing every time I watch him play. And Pit is good.
Bro, I
The president
gotta.
of Team Fundies.
The
I gotta say
CEO.
The CEO. That was Gavin's joke. That's the good commentary.
I gotta shout out Kaninabe. All right, the second best
Ooh.
fox on the planet. Winner's
That was
side,
crazy to
top
see.
8. And I said the name right this time. Shout out to Neru. She taught me how to do it, so I don't
Bro,
mess
they
it up
were
this time.
blasting you.
Bro, I know. But that's how you learn, right? That's how you learn. It's all good. It's all good. You gotta get your jokes off. Kaninabe, though, huge fan of his play. Let's shout him out. He's amazing. He really, and again, another player that feels like he came out of nowhere. Like, not just like, oh, he got a top 8, top 16 one time. All right, winner's side, top 8. And he's been doing this for a couple tournaments in a row now. It's just ridiculous. It's almost like Fox is a good character.
Very.
I've been saying Fox is a good character since we started the podcast, I think. A long time ago. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
Wario's much cooler.
Huh?
Oh, no, that's a whole nother opinion on this podcast. But I mean, we've always said in this podcast that this Fox gets better as time goes on. He's just a character that you get, like, the cleaner you play neutral and the cleaner you play like tech chases and platform tech chases, like, he just starts looking unbeatable, right? Because you just can't hit him, and then he deals 80. Like, when you're playing on point, Fox just looks like a top 5 character, and then when you fuck up one time and get edge guarded at 20, you're like, well, it's just one of those characters.
I'm just surprised we don't see more of him, though, because I think, his playstyle naturally would draw most people, like, aggressive, like, really satisfying when he's working, like you said, kind of like Roy in that way, you know what I mean? Like, pretty similar. But like you said, obviously, when you get hit, it's bad. But I don't know, people main, like, K rule in this game. Like, why aren't there more Foxes, Like, why people are willing to hedge their bets when it comes to, oh, I really like this character and the way they play, but not Fox. Like, why don't we see more of them? Like, until Kaninabe really started getting these results, I couldn't even tell you who really was the second best Fox in the world. It was hard. I wasn't sure.
I mean, I thought it was Pissiriman, but
Passive Man,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
True.
sure.
The GOAT, actually. I love Passive Man.
You know what it is, bro? People play Fox. It's the same thing with Roy. They play Fox or they pick Roy, and they're like, "I'm a mash," and then they get harmed, and then they're like, "You know what? This is a lot harder than I thought. I can't just mash." And then they gotta play slow, and they're like, "Well, why the fuck? Why am I playing Fox? Like, why am I on Roy? Like, I can't just mash." And then
Well, it's not even about mashing. I feel like you got to play fast with Fox for it to pay off. You got to press the buttons really quick. And
Yeah.
as troll as that sounds, like that is something a lot of people can't do, because even if you can press buttons real quick, can you press them real quick in a way that matters, and like a way that you're not just like running into shit because you're focusing on playing so fast, you just run into random bullshit at 50 and die, right? Like it's not like the way I've main Fox in multiple games. Smash 4, it was a little bit more technical, but it wasn't as fast. In Ultimate, it's way less technical, and the game plan is actually very simple. The game plan is hit up air. It's like generally it. You hit up air and you tech chase. Every time you win neutral, you're trying to set up. You get grabs that secretly go into platform tech chases, which will then go on reaction to like 80, 90 damage. So can you really shield against Fox? Depends on certain areas, right? But like the game plan is very simple. The execution is just a little tough in terms of speed. The actual speed and the accuracy of your tech chases have to be very, very solid. But I mean, I still think this character has a lot more areas to grow in. We're still figuring a lot about this character, and we've always said this is like a late game character that is a little bit more simple. It's like if Sheik was way easier to execute on, I kind of compare those two, but Fox has like a way more simple ways to get stocks, like up smash, out of shield, frame 8, boom, like pretty solid way of getting stocks. Tech chasing with like forward smash, there's a bunch of ways, or just like getting raw up airs. There's so much ways that Fox can much easily get kills, and I think we might see an uptick in Fox, and with that the uptick in Game & Watch goes up, right? So you do have a place in this meta, but then you also have to realize that to win a tournament with Fox, you probably have to beat a very good Game & Watch to do so, right? So that's another tough matchup. It might not be as tough as we think, but I think it's generally pretty hard because you're just
100% super hard.
It's hard. Kaninabe did bring Miya to Game 5 last time they played, though. So
it's a lot of grabbing. Like the way I explain that matchup, and the reason why I'm like, oh, maybe it's not -2. It probably is still -2. Don't like quote me on that. It's probably still -2, but you still have a way of winning because you can just grab the living shit out of Game & Watch and ledge trap him. Like that is still on the table, and you can just like eventually corner him with back here. Obviously, what Game & Watch has to do to you to kill you is way more favored on his side. But if you have some kind of neutral interaction where it's like, okay, like I'm still a very fast character with a frame 8 grab. Like I can still, you're really quick and you can get the grab. It's like saying that you can't get grabbed from Fox is like crazy. That's a very difficult thing to not happen to you, right? Like Fox is it's way easy. Now it's harder to get like vertical fall down grabs because if I see a Fox like just trying to empty line in front of me with Game Watch, just hit up B, like there's no way you lose, right? So Fox has to play a more horizontal game. It takes a bit longer and it's like not as advantageous, but it's still possible. Because there's some other -2 matchups that feel impossible. That's how I'm going to say it.
Yeah,
like Shulk.
My philosophy when it comes to character representation,
set a character.
Shulk is hard, bro.
You stun locked all of us.
Oh my bad.
I was not ready for Shulk.
Huh? I was gonna say like Pikachu or something. Like I don't know.
Oh sure, yeah.
Oh my bad.
My philosophy for like character representation, like if I see a character I think is really good, or if I feel like a character is represented too well and it's confusing, like whatever the case may be, there's always a really simple answer for me. There's a lot of characters in this game, and there's not some specific answer to it. A character either has players or they don't, and it's no one's fault. It's not the player's fault. It's not the character's. There's like a lot of options. Like it should never reflect on a tier list. Blah blah blah. Like it is what it is. Like people are going to play what they're going to play, and there's a lot of options, and it's not like we have a million people playing this game competitively. It just is what it is.
We might.
Huh?
Wow, yeah.
I hope so. That would be great.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. It's just sometimes I think people try characters and they find out they're a little different. Their game plan's a little different. Than
Also, Fox is a character from Smash 64. Not as exciting as other options. At least that's my thought process. Fox is the first character that comes to mind when I want to try a new character. That dude is old.
You play DK.
What are you talking about? You can do that one new combo in Ultimate, Nair up smash.
Up air.
Crazy, bro. That one goes stupid.
That's anytime Fox hits me. You know my joke, Charles. Anytime a fox starts up airing me, I'm like, nice. Did you lab that? That's sick. That's cool. I deserved 80. That's so awesome.
Yeah,
there's other characters that do it too. Wario, the standing ovation.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Boom, 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 boom.
If you end it with up B, you're cool.
Hey, Tweek Talkers, what's going on? You got Haz here. And let me tell you something. I like working out. Now, staying consistent with it is a whole nother story. I have a really hard time staying on top of my workouts, whether it's making sure I hit all the right muscle groups or making sure I do all my workouts every week or even making sure I'm eating right. Now, I've been working with my friend Mezio over at DE. And what that is double entendre trading. And you can check them out. If you scan that code there, and you can try out his program for 1 month free with Tweek23 is the code you're going to be using there. Personal fitness programs for all levels of fitness. It's affordable, effective. You get access to a private chat and access to a live Q&A. The thing I love about training with DE is that they have an app that tracks your progress. You can input how much you lifted, how much you ran, how far you ran, all that good stuff. It'll keep track of your progress. And then I talk with a personal trainer there. His name's Mezio. Great guy. He's a smasher too, so he gets the gamer lifestyle. He keeps me motivated. He tells me when I'm slipping and tells me when I do a great job. So make sure you check them out. Scan the QR code right there. It's trainerized.me/profile/double entendre. Check them out. They've been a big help for everyone here at Tweek Talks.
Yeah. Speaking of, hey, I saw somebody do that.
Yeah, ReWired.
Wow, look at the Segi.
Yeah.
Wow.
ReWired was a lot of fun to watch.
Segi, ma. Segi. What the hell?
Yeah, that was
like
clean
out in that trailer on the Segi. Remember? Shout out to Final Fantasy 7. Out on the Segi, ma. That shit was so funny. Sorry, I brought it back so many weeks. Also, I'm so pissed that Bayonetta got a win on Acola the week after I posed the question of Ryu versus Bayonetta. I'm so pissed. I heard you all. You're like, oh, we totally so stupid. I was like, I'm listening to the podcast, you dicks. I'm
That's
listening.
gonna be the question you put in the comments. All right, guys, let us know after that W, that Bayo W. Now, what are your thoughts on Bayonetta Ryu? Because we're putting up the white flag on Link. It is what it is, but we can win this one. All right.
I think it's closer than we think, but I do kind of tend to agree with you guys. It's probably Bayo.
After burner kick, bro. After that move is crazy.
I just think too, like her ceiling's high, and I really think what I learned is that I just love Asimo's, like, and Icon. Like Ryu players are fucking awesome. Like
he's genuinely impressive.
Ashimo is dope.
Very, very impressive, and
fucking raw.
Hits some saucy clips in tournament with Ryu.
He does, dude. I love him. He's one of my all-time faves, dude.
Anyone who knows me knows, like, I am giving it up right now, bro. Like, I am giving it up.
Yeah, for a character you don't care about, and to admit that he's got sauce in tournament, I don't think I've ever heard you say that about anyone except for like Gluto.
Like,
yeah, it's easy to have sauce out of tournament, right? But if you got that in tournament sauce,
like
all
me.
right.
Like very
tournaments, bro.
Very impressive player. Actually wins and goes far and hits clips.
Yeah,
that's godlike.
Yeah,
I'm actually doing a short on Ashimo's clip on Siski at
bro.
What was it?
Like what the
Odyssey?
Was that?
That clip is so dope. We're doing like a short on Smash University, but I'm excited for it.
Reverse aerials are just a lost art.
Yeah. Ashimo has good fundamentals too, I'll say. Like his tech chases are good, like his reads on you defensively, like his ledge trapping is good. He doesn't mash down tilt. Like he's just a really
he has a good eye.
Funny. Like you're trying to hype him up and he's just mashing down
tilt. Yeah, I know.
He has a good eye for the game, genuinely. I do think
yes. Well, it's Nest, dude. That's a terrible matchup. Sometimes you gotta just mash down tilt, bro. See, parry, stop mashing down tilt. Jab Shoryu is his thing, 1,000%. Right. He's so good at it. All right, it's Bayo. Anyway, moving on.
Right as we exit the clip. So funny. It covered spot dodge, though. It covered spot dodge.
It does cover spot dodge well.
There was a lot of dynamics going on at ReWired within the top results. Like,
okay, let's get out of the way. MuteAce, one of the best combos that's ever been pulled off in Smash Ultimate history. Like, we just got to get it out of there, bro.
After SDing on the second stock game 5, and like, let me tell you, MuteAce, like
Marcus did not like that combo.
Marcus, he dipped.
I'm sorry.
See ya. I'm sorry. See you, Marcus.
But
we'll
like
get back.
Mute SD'd maybe like 2 or 3 times the entire top 8, and like that's kind of a lot considering a whole entire top 8. And a lot of it had to do with like air dodging, like neutral air dodging or directional air dodging off the stage.
When air dodges, it's GG.
Yeah, because floaties, if you guys don't know, floaties have a lot more recovery time when it comes to air dodging, and fast fallers don't when they hit the ground. It's kind of weird. Just general universal stuff. So, yeah, and it was so lame because right when Game 5 started between Mute and Spargo, the one thing I was thinking of, I was like, Mute can do this if he doesn't SD. Mute can do this if he doesn't SD. And second stock SDs, and then pulls off the craziest comeback, craziest combo on reaction. And yeah, we're playing it right now for the audio listeners, but this was so crazy. Up air, like double turnip throw into down tilt, into another double turnip throw into the side B from left side to right side of the stage. It was fucking beautiful.
It did like 90s damage or something. Like,
it gave him limit from like almost nothing. He was actually playing Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
he got beat up so hard, he got limit.
How broken base turnip is. Well, when you have a regular turnip, you actually can just kill someone off 10%.
Yeah,
pretty crazy. I guess you're right, Gavin.
That's a lot of damage, bro.
That's a lot of damage. I love the run up F tilt too. That was so funny.
It was 35 to like 122 or something. Like,
wait, is it a regular turnip? I can't see. I actually don't. It looks like a regular turnip.
Yeah.
Okay.
121 from 35. Bro, Spargo put down his controller against me and said, like, you can get one hit. I wouldn't be able to kill him. like holy shit. Yeah. It was such a crazy moment. We were watching it live. Like me, Aaron, and we were losing our minds that was even possible to happen in that moment. Like, wow.
We knew
Low-key, a really strange hit of up air too. Like that was off like a really stray, like not perfect hit at all. And it kind of started after like a misinput F tilt too. Like I thought the set was over after that F tilt.
F tilt the ledge scared the shit out of me. I was like, what just happened? Like what happened? It must have been, I don't know if he tried to jump before, whatever. It didn't matter at the end of the day. The thing I'll say, and Charles used this word already, he said that was beautiful, and it really was, because what that was hundreds of hours practice with this character, if not thousands of hours practice with this character to hit the perfect clip against one of the best players in the world in a specific match. Cloud is skinny. Cloud is not an easy character to combo by any means.
It's actually very frustrating in tournament against someone like Fargo too.
Yep, he'd be mashing.
It makes you lose confidence when you get a hit, which is terrifying. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of advantage state isn't pushed that far because Ultimate's very finicky with that kind of thing. A lot of things aren't universal, so yeah, it was a crazy moment. And I love what you said about like the thousands of hours being paying off and stuff, because that's the beauty of dedicating yourself to a character, regardless of where they are on a tier list. Like you give yourself a chance of being able to win in these situations. Like if this was MuteAce's Palutena in this Game 5 situation, Spargo would have definitely won. And it's not like shade to like other people's characters but like when you have that much dedication to a character, like it's gonna pay off. Like I've had my fair share of those kind of moments where like I'm barely able to win a match or something like that. So it's a really special situation.
What up, Jim?
What's up, Cosmos?
It's the second best podcast. I heard you say that. You stole my joke on your podcast. Get out of here, Jim. Nope. This is right now. This is it.
All right, see you.
All right, see you, Jim.
He's gone. Hey, close the door.
You know what made me think of that actually, Gavin, is when you hit the banana reset combo on Spargo, and I think you did it on Light too, actually, at Terra, because I've seen you lap that, you know what I mean? And that's what made me think of Mute hitting that combo. It's like the same shit where it's like, that is so specific, and the only way to win that set, most likely, like you hit that and you only get 90 or whatever, you're fine, but then you have to play Spargo in last hit, and well, Mute's one of the best ever in last hits, and so is Spargo, obviously. So it's like, without the perfect execution, damn, I guess it'd be happening to Spargo recently. I just realized because you did it to him at Terra too, and then
I do kind of want to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where like, you know, all of us have been playing for so long, so sometimes we get a little numb to some of the silly Smash things, like, oh, the tier list doesn't matter, like you can do it, but like moments like that literally turn everyone into just like innocent Smash fans. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like maybe anyone can really do it. Maybe any character can really do it. Like when you're able to like just like truly willpower yourself to a W.
Yeah.
But spoiler alert, not every character can do what Peach just did there. But still, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like it makes everyone just forget all the pain we've gone through with Smash and just be like, bro, this game is crazy. Like the things that can happen in these tournament sets, like it really is inspiring. But yeah, I've seen some people talking about the meta after this tournament. I've seen Spargo talk a little bit about how he's feeling. And I just want to say that I feel like Spargo has a great head on his shoulders. Like he's saying his frustrations, but at the same time, you can see that he's really thinking about his next steps, and that you know what I mean. It's not just like, oh, I'm pissed I lost. It feels like he's really considering what's going on and all that stuff. And but if we think about it from a meta standpoint, like if we think of like Peach and then Cloud, they have like very different goals despite being very good characters. Like Cloud's a bit of a stray hitter, like consistent, like easy, like but he's not gonna like have some crazy setup for a niche situation to kill you at 0. He might have like one or two like 2-piece combos into finishing touch or something, but it's really not super relevant to what I'm talking about. And I think sometimes it's hard to have faith in those characters, right? Like Rob and Peach, like it really feels like you can definitely win. So, or Kazuya or Steve, whereas Cloud is like he just has a really top tier bubble surrounding him. Like, you know what I mean? And it's interesting to think about. But basically, what I want to say is I don't think this should make you lose faith in those characters. I think you should continue to have faith in those characters, and they can still win. They have won, and they will win in the future. And by they, I mean Spargo. Spargo will win in the future again. If anything, I talked about this with some top players, but I think it would be very naive to count Spargo out. I think if anything, he might rubber band like harder than he ever has before, especially because he's a young player and all that stuff. Don't be surprised if Spargo just like destroys everyone and wins a big tournament in the next like few months or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is really interesting to think about how the meta shifts and how the meta can even make a slight shift in one tournament set, and it can really change everyone's thoughts and make people second guess things. But as a Diddy player, seeing MuteAce do well and seeing MuteAce do well in tense moments and all that stuff, it does give me confidence as a Diddy player, and it makes me have faith in like the weird things that I've labbed out or practice, and you know, having faith that I'll be able to do those things when it counts. So yeah, I think both tournaments were great. And I haven't even talked about Gluto or Light yet. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna say you've nerded out so much. We haven't gotten to Gluto's W yet, man. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's your favorite player. What the heck?
you got to talk about like consistency across the board. We already talked about Miya and Acola. Gluto and Light too, honestly, has been very, very consistent recently. Another second place for Light, only losing to Gluto. And then obviously Gluto taking it down. It was game 5 in Grand, so it was a really good top 8 of that tournament for sure. A lot of fun and entertaining players. Very top heavy tournament, I think is how everyone was kind of looking at it. Before we dip, because I know Gavin, you probably have a lot to say about Gluto. And
I do. I definitely do.
But shout out to Deathspade, top 8.
Segment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the sidebar basically. Shout out to Deathspade, Beast Mode Paul, Rocky. So many great Atomic, like great players who made this top 8. It was very competitive to get from top 48 to top 8. So I just want to shout out those players. I'm a huge fan of Beast Mode Paul. I think he's a great player who's showing what Hero can do. Cast a lot of his sets during like the online era, if I remember correctly. Just a fan of the way he plays the game, and I know obviously I'm not a big time competitor or anything, but I love watching Hero be played. I think he's such bullshit. I think it's hilarious. And I think I think Beast Mode Paul is very good. So shout out to all those players. So, all right, go ahead. Have your Gluto section. Go
okay.
Off.
So I do want to say this. I think Gluto is by far the scariest he has ever been. And I think one of the reasons for this, obviously the obvious thing, is that he's gotten a couple W's and really settling into first places. And I think like we talk about game 5 versus Light. If you looked at Gluto in person, he was way too relaxed. You would think he was up 2-0 or something. Gluto isn't thinking that he's gonna lose. And I think for someone like Gluto, that is really, really scary if you're someone that wants to beat him, or if you're like a fellow competitor, because Gluto's really relaxed, he's playing really well, and he won't stop winning. So I think that is really dangerous. I think he's the most dangerous he's ever been. And I'm going to be honest, before ReWired even started, before I even saw any gameplay of ReWired, I would have bet my entire bank account that Gluto was going to win the tournament. I think probably a lot of people would have at least considered that. Um, whether you're thinking deeply about it or whether you're just considering the fact that he won the last tournament he attended, you know what I mean? Like, no shade at Light. Like, I was really interested to see like the Gluto and Light sets, but I was very confident that Gluto was going to get first. But the whole like Gluto Spargo Light dynamic is really cool. Seeing Light get a win on Spargo is really, he's another player where if he gets too many wins on someone, it's really dangerous. All of those guys, it's like a lot of the time it can just be like a confidence thing, and things can really shift depending on like who won a game or who got a crazy, sequence, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I had a really great time watching, and I think Gluto is in a really, really comfortable and dangerous spot. And I think if you're going to bet that Gluto wins the tournament, it's not a bad bet for any tournament he's attending at the moment. I think he is definitely a contender to win any tournament right now. It's really, really dangerous. In my opinion, I think he's way closer to best player in the world skill-wise than he's ever been. And I think he's way closer than people might be. I know people probably think he's like, top 5, 4, 3, like what? Like I know people think he's really high ranked right now, but I think he's potentially even better than that right now. So
Yeah, I think he saw those rankings that I took that personally. You know what I mean? He has been on fire since then, and I think it's really cool. I think everyone thinks it's cool he's doing with Wario. It's a character that he tried to make work in Smash 4. Like, this guy's clearly loyal. The thing, I think so many people would have filed Wario under early meta character, right? Especially after the nerfs and everything else. Just, he was looking so strong in the beginning. He looked like a top tier contender, but then obviously as more DLC came out and more counterplay came out, he fell off. And I think people naturally thought Gluto would as well. But it's the opposite that I find is so interesting with him, is where Wario might be, or was at one point at his lowest, and Gluto is just elevating him up so much, which is so impressive because he's such a, I don't want to say an easy character to give up on, but he's a character that can lend himself to inconsistencies. If he doesn't have his bike, his recovery sucks. If he's not hitting his wafts, that's a huge win condition for you. All this other stuff that Gluto has seemed to find big consistencies in a character that later in the meta, a lot of people thought would struggle to find them even more. Because there was like a slump kind of towards the middle of the game's meta where that was the case, right? We didn't have Gluto making all these top 8 appearances quite as much. But now, things have really flipped around, and I'm really happy for him, obviously. And it's not that the character got better or anything. It's just that he started getting more creative and started finding more consistencies with Wario, which is so impressive because this is not a brand new game or anything. It's not like, oh, well, easy. I haven't used this button a lot. Let's use it. It's like, no, I need to find very specific things, similar to how Miya was fighting against Acola, right? Like, we're getting to that point where it's only very specific counterplay is going to matter. Very specific move usage or niche move usage is really going to matter a lot. And I think we're seeing that a ton. Again, from character specialists. Top 3, top 4 of this tournament are people who've stuck with their characters throughout basically solo maining, aside from Spargo with Aegis. But Gluto, Light, MuteAce, and Spargo, top 4, all of them have really stuck with the vanilla characters since the beginning of the game, aside from the Aegis, obviously. So it's really cool to see what these guys can cook up.
Man, honestly, I think Spargo should look into playing some more Aegis, though. I think he should. Like, I think he, at one point, I was like, this is clearly the best Aegis in the world. Like, I don't think it's close. I think there's like a very large gap, and he's stopped playing as much. And Shuton started performing a lot better, but I'm pretty sure if Spargo sat down and put some more time in the Aegis,
I still think he is.
Like a week.
I still think he's the best Aegis.
A whole week.
I think it's right now.
Yeah, like
his Aegis is very good.
A whole week. His Aegis is very, very good.
Yeah.
His Pyra is leagues above every other Pyra in the world, and I think if he learned a little bit of the more like specific Mithra things, then I'm not even sure if he'd lose a tournament. Honestly, I think Cloud Aegis, that combination, even though they both have the same weaknesses, somehow they still cover each other very very well, or like the same weaknesses, like their
I know what you
recovery or
mean.
whatever. Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like that's an interesting thought. Like sometimes it's not even about covering obvious things. Like
Yeah.
I feel like, pairings of characters might just work differently than we think in some ways. Like sometimes like, combining strengths might be a good idea.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because there are times where he's no hesitation. I'm pulling out Aegis, and I'm like, oh no. Whenever I see that, I'm like, this person's about to get cooked, like, because he clearly has a reason he doesn't want to go Cloud, and
Yeah,
this
like
Aegis is ready. Like
this has been
it's
played
going
out
to
and
be
there's a
ready.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot more situations. I think he may just be if I can play Cloud, like if it's playable, then I'll do it. But I don't know. I think if we're looking for number one player in the world, we want to win as much as possible.
Yeah,
we might want to pull out. Hey, I just want to win,
Stand
But
Fighter Pass 2, say no more, Pink. Sometimes you gotta dip into the darkness, man. Sometimes,
I mean, you know what's funny? Like most people aren't even complaining about them anymore outside of Steve.
it's crazy.
Well, there's so much other things to complain about, of course.
I thought you were gonna say something along the lines of like they don't consider them the whole Fighter Pass 2 thing, in terms of like the energy that the character brings. Where I think they do.
Yeah, no.
They're definitely bringing Fighter Pass. The only one not bringing Fighter Pass 2.
I think Aegis hangs out with
yeah.
Steve Kazuya all the time, bro. I think Aegis is great friends with Steve Kazuya, bro. They
He's next door neighbors, I think.
Neutral version of Fighter Pass 2. Like, super ultra broken neutral. Like, I don't even think you can really argue. Like, maybe you can say Sonic or some other characters might have better neutral than Mithra. Maybe like something like a Fox or something like that.
Maybe.
Even then, if you don't think that Mithra has the strongest neutral, you have to agree that she is at least top 3 neutral in the game.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah,
it's better than Fox.
Yeah.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which is funny because who would think that anything would be?
I'm actually kind of surprised.
That dash grab is like that combo.
Bro, it's illegal.
That combo alone puts them in a pretty crazy league.
You can do an option select with dash grab, with roll dash grab. So if they swing, you actually like. There's trust.
Whoa!
We haven't even added Mithra F tilt or Mithra run up jab to the equation.
Don't be leaking attack, bro.
It's in the Smash University guide for Fire Mithra. It's like not even a leak. This has been known since like the very beginning, like week 1 or 2 of Fire Mithra being out. No one uses it.
They forgot about it.
It's hard to tell if someone's using it, right? Because if someone comes up and rolls and gets the force, you don't know if they do the option select or whatever. But there is a lot of powerful stuff.
There's a lot of stuff.
A very interesting topic after kind of like recapping both of the tournaments is just how crazy our standards are for like the rank 1 player. You know what I mean? And I know there's been a ton of controversy with who's rank 1. Like if Gluto could honestly make a case pretty soon if there's a big asterisk here. He needs to get over a couple of road bumps. Okay, so you got to beat Sonics first, right? And you're gonna and he can squeeze out some wins versus Ken, but like, dude, that matchup is very fucking hard. So it's like even more props to Gluto getting to where he is because there's so many like really hard Wario matchups that he still just sticks it out. I'm really looking forward for the first time he beats Sonic. He might just gain all of that momentum. He'd be like, I don't care if you're Acola, Miya, I beat Sonics. Like that's my worst matchup, and he just might destroy everyone, right?
Yeah.
Beating Acola and Miya is going to also be really hard.
I think
Wario.
Steve is a very similar league to Sonic. Sadly, sorry to burst.
It's brutal.
Sorry to burst the hope bubble, but if we look at ReWired, I think he had a great bracket. I think he fought some great players, but I still think they're all doable for him regardless of the matchup, and the matchups are fine. I personally think Peach Wario is like even, and I think Wario Fox is winning for Wario. Yeah. So nice. And if we look at Terra, I think Wario beats Diddy slightly and all that stuff. So like we'll see. I think he has a lot of good W's, and I just had that whole spiel about Gluto being crazy right now. So I think this is his best chance to match up with some of those other players and get some W's. I would like to see him even versus like Dabuz again. So another set versus Miya because he's beaten Miya already, but Miya's like another demon at the moment. Some more sets versus Acola, Sonics. We'll see. He's competing at like pretty much everything, so I'm excited to see it. Yeah,
But yeah, I just think like the standard for rank 1 for us is so high because of Leo. And
Yep.
Leo, there is
absolutely.
no other streak better than Leo's streak. And even when you go to look back at previous games, I still value Ultimate's streak of being like the number 1 player. First off, it was the longest streak we've ever had of someone being ranked number 1 from Brawl, Smash 4, and Ultimate. Plus, I value the Ultimate one a lot more because the game's a lot more competitive. A lot more people play the game. There's a lot more on the line, right? So our standards for rank 1 is like so over the top. And if you ask me if there's ever going to be another player that replicates that run ever again, I'm going to tell you no. Like I
We
literally
might not even have enough time to have a chance.
well, right, but even when the next Smash game comes out, I think it's still hard to replicate that run.
Bro,
I don't know if I had to bet on it. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I don't know if a
think
Smash
that
game is
dominant
gonna
Oh
happen.
no.
Sakurai's making YouTube videos, bro.
Oh, we're back on this? Come
No,
on.
but like you
But
guys
he's
get what
like
I'm saying.
he's
I
like
think
a
Yeah,
YouTuber.
yeah. I
like
think
a
about it all
creator.
the time. Like we'll be like, Acola. Like we even said it earlier in the episode. We were joking. We're like, Acola lost 2 tournaments in a row, and it's like, dang, you really like Leo's put that in people. Like you start losing more than 1 tournament in a row. Well, you washed. You're not number 1 because for Leo,
right. It's just crazy.
bro, just won
I
everything.
was more doing a meta commentary on how reactive people are in the Smash sphere. But that's just me.
Yeah, but that's because they react that way because of him. They wouldn't react that way if
They also have like
if he wasn't so dominant for so long. That wouldn't be normal to them.
I feel like it is a little bit of just like short-term memory, like addicted to the internet type stuff too,
That
though.
too.
Like,
But dude, it is
like
I
just
think the
quick to
current
like
ranking-
throw things out the trash and look at the most recent thing. Like, I think it's a bit of everything.
yeah, it's just interesting because even now you can argue that Spargo's not even number 2 anymore, right? If you did the current updatings, and then you get really interesting. Like it gets very interesting because like, well, if Spargo's not number 2, is he number 3? Does Gluto take the 3 spot over him, right? There, and obviously it depends on what time span you're going over. But my biggest thing my biggest point I want to make here is our top like 4 right now feels so. I wouldn't say like completely interchangeable. I think Acola, Miya feel, and then like Spargo feel like their own tier. But there's other players like Gluto that feel like they're going to get into that tier and make that tier even bigger. Like now it's going to be a 4-man pod.
Gluto is by far the closest. Like,
yeah, this is the closest we've ever been to like
stacking up wins like that with
shuffling around.
Stacking up wins like that without dropping sets is big, and that's why players like Acola and Miya have separated themselves so much. Like Acola barely drops sets, let alone tournament, and then Miya is, barely dropping sets, and most of them are to Acola. So having wins like that where you're taking no damage puts you really high up there. But yeah,
and I think
I still think, as much as I think Gluto's in a crazy spot right now and like has, is really pushing the envelope, I still wouldn't go as far as to say Gluto's past Spargo or anything.
Yeah, like he's probably 4-ish right now if you did like a live update.
Yeah,
but
Gluto's definitely past. Gluto's definitely past like me and Light at this point. But I don't want to be too quick to say past Spargo, but it probably is at least a conversation. But yeah, I think ReWired and Kagaribi were some of the best stuff we could ask for. I had a great time watching everything.
And
I'm glad I was able to see some of those crazy moments happen live, especially like the MuteAce stuff and all that.
Bro,
and Bears 400. It was a whole good weekend of watching Smash, dude.
Zombs.
Bears.
Oh, I forgot that was the same
I didn't forget about my boy Zombs. I was about to bring him up.
Zaba Jackal Grand Finals. It doesn't matter how many people show up to Bears. Apparently, it is what it is.
I'm pretty sure I said that exact sentence when Grands was happening. I was like, it doesn't matter who shows up. It doesn't matter who shows up to Bears, bro.
And
what if you show up?
Well, I don't show up to Bears.
Well, I don't show up. So
I don't show up.
And then there was a Mexican Invitational that was on last Wednesday, right? I don't know if time is so weird. Or was that?
Oh yeah,
what I missed. Yeah, where Leo won, which was really cool.
I missed that. I missed that, but
Was
I
that
know
Leo
last
he-
Wednesday?
Joker. I think
I know
so
he
because
played-
I
I know
yeah.
he was playing hella Joker, which is, I think that's one of the scary
was
things
Wednesday.
about Leo is if he like practices one character and then like sticks with them for a whole bracket. That's like pretty scary.
Hold on,
That
he
means-
didn't only play one character.
That means he's up to something.
You know, he had pulled
And
out
it's the
the
best
mark.
character he plays.
He did pull out
Oh
Mark,
my
and it was
God.
looking good. It was looking good.
He's just playing great. He looks sharp. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if he's been motivated to play more again. I've been seeing him more stuff, and it's nice to see him kind of shades of like prime Leo. You know what I'm saying? Not that he's always been doing pretty fine, right? Like it's not like he fell off like terribly. Well, like we said, the standard was so impossible for him. You
He's
know
still a
that
top
set,
10 player.
he still set the impossible standard where we're like, oh, this guy's only like 8th in the world. Like he fell off. It's like, damn, I want to fall off. You know, that'd be cool. But it was nice to see him like his Joker. It looked prime. It was very, very entertaining and fun to watch. And he was not seeded to win that tournament. So shout outs to him for winning that tournament. You got Sky J there, Meister, Javi. Like there were a lot of great players there, man. It was a fun watch. It was just last Wednesday. So like you said, reactive internet brain forgot about it. So.
Yeah, so much is happening.
And yeah, Javi had just
Awesome.
beaten him like 2 days before or something like that.
Hey.
He kind of smoked him too. It was not.
Hey.
Those games were not close.
Sometimes the family, man, it brings out the rivalry. Maybe it sparks
Yeah.
something. Maybe something happened. Something shifted.
I just realized Leo's ranked. Gavin, what's the lowest you've been ranked in this game? Like 5 or something?
I think maybe 5 or something.
Golly.
Let me check.
Sheesh.
Tweek Smash Bros.
What's that? 4 years of top 5? Holy. What?
I'm trying to think. Maybe you got a
I don't
6.
know where to check this kind of thing.
I don't
Well,
know.
What did you type
We've got this
in?
thing called the PGR, so you can check that one first.
It was
Well, hold on. I mean, then we got to really get into like
Right.
the
It was
other 40
Leon Kennedy
rankings.
playing that ice cream game. Gavin, that was you.
Gotta figure out which
Let
one.
me check this. He logs into Neopets. Wait a minute, these aren't the rankings.
I don't know. I can't. Like, how many have there been?
Oh my god, dude. Okay.
That's a good
Look at the
question.
PGR.
Anyway, never mind. Unimportant.
We're on your
All right,
Smash
maybe
Wiki.
someone in
This
the
is how we
comments can
do
tell
it.
us. If
Oh,
you guys
no.
know in the comments, let us know. What is the lowest rank Tweek has ever gotten in a
On
global
any
ranking?
ranking.
So
Ever.
there's one that's
PGR and Lumi.
there's 2. There's I think maybe I've been 4th before. I don't know. 5.
You were 7th in the top 100 for Smash 4.
Well, no, I'm in all.
Yeah.
Ultimate.
Well,
Which-
you didn't
which-
specify.
You were
Made me
7th?
very, very upset.
I didn't realize
Because
you were that
Gavin
low.
was a lot. They didn't do
That was
a
all
final
time.
season.
That
They
was
just
all
did a top 100 of
All
all
time.
time, which I think did
All
rob the players
time.
that like played at the tail end. I will say that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've been lower than 5. If I have been, maybe it was once. I don't think I have been lower than that though. Maybe a 6 or 7, but I don't think so.
You've definitely always
All
been top
right,
10.
I got him right here.
Wow,
Finally.
Hazmatt thought to do
What did you search
I
for?
got it. I searched for Smash Ultimate Rankings. It was like a really.
Oh,
I've
that's
been
crazy. How did you?
I
do that?
know, yeah. I'm like Columbo. So you were ranked 2 in spring 2019.
Then he was ranked 3 after.
2019.
Oh, there was a 3. I couldn't remember that.
Yeah. Then summer 2022 was the next official one. Shouts COVID. You got 4th on that one.
4. There was a 4. There was a 4.
And then you were 8th on this one that just says 2022. So is that the whole year? I'm kind of confused as to what that is.
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, I think Lumi ranks they do their ranks by year, but then they
What
have like a
ranking
half
was
percent
that?
doesn't
Was that
count.
an
I don't know.
official ranking or?
It's on here, so I don't know what to tell you.
Okay,
It's on it's the Liquipedia.
Maybe
so.
maybe that's the lowest then.
Then you were 5th in summer 2023.
There you go.
But 2022 was 8. Like that's so weird.
Just
It's like
the year,
2022
yeah.
was
There's
8,
no,
2023.
The government labeled me 8th.
yeah.
The universe itself.
I guess it was alt rank. Sorry, it was alt rank 2022, and that's where Acola and Spargo were new to the rankings on that.
Okay.
They
Well, if you want
were
your
added
ranking
in
points,
2
you
and
better
3. That was the
You
season
better
where we
play
were
it.
arguing if Acola or Leo was number one. Remember that season?
Oh,
That was fun.
Dabuz. Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to get those ranking points, you better get your flights to Japan. They got P tiers every single month, maybe sometimes twice a month.
That's
They're
crazy.
great. They gotta stop doing that, man. I can't stay up that late anymore. That shit's crazy.
That's tough. My schedule is
will wipe me out, man.
I be waking up during the tournaments now. I'm like, oh, the heck! I wake up at the end.
A nice little treat. Yeah.
You're like me with the EU tournaments. I wake up naturally at like 7 in the morning on weekends. I'm like, oh sweet, let's go. All right, let's go, Lancelot. You know, like I'm ready to go. Flo too. We didn't shout out Flo. Damn, I meant to do that because Flo got a win on Banham. There were just too many results to cover. So shout out to big weekend for EU, big weekend for vanilla characters. It was all good, man. It was a good weekend.
T did really well. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of T recently. T did
fantastic. I was very happy to see T like in top 4.
Place, I believe. 4th place. Yoshidora did fantastic. Yoshidora's just cool. It's cool that Yoshidora's just a household name and can go that far in a tournament.
Good to see him do well again too.
I guess that about wraps it up, though. I thought it was a great weekend for Smash. It was like a bit of, it was a good clash of like, what we're used to currently and like some old stuff, and whether it's players, characters, tournament series, blah, blah, blah. I feel like, I think it was just a great weekend. Agreed. I do want to say, when it comes to myself and playing and competing, I'm not going to that many things. I've actually had a lot going on. Light was calling me out and stuff, but he doesn't even know what's going on in my life, so he needs to chill out.
Which he also said, to his credit, he did say, he's like, am I just being a dickhead right now? I don't know what's going on with him. It's like, well,
did he really?
Yes, he did.
Well, the answer is yes, Light. But I will be at Miami. I will be at Port Priority. I'm really sorry to everyone that I can't go to the tournaments. I wanted to. I still want to, but I just can't. But watching has been great. And I will say to all these players that have been doing well and that I've been playing all the time, all the people that we talk about, when I am playing and when I'm playing against you, I will be beating you, and I apologize for that.
Bro, apologize.
Because I'm
filling out the apology form.
I've been watching, and I'm definitely going to win. So
yeah,
there's that.
Get the apology forms ready, but not for me. That's what Gavin just said.
I'm making them because I'm apologizing for beating them. But yeah, I will be practicing and I will be winning. I did want to say that.
Dude, I'm so pumped for Port. America doesn't have that much S+/Premier tiers anymore, so whenever we get one, I'm like, yo, yes, we finally got an S+ tier. Let's go.
It's so strange, but it's honestly, it's a good thing, man. Competition is good all around the world. I love it. We got to do better.
Good, yes.
Everyone's got to do better. Yep. But we obviously Rise and Grind this weekend. I'll be watching that. But I think to echo what you said too, Gavin. I had been a little snoozer status. I'm watching a lot of tournaments. I watched them, but it wasn't the same. But this weekend, it really, the way we started the episode, I was like, we're back. Like it really did feel that way. Like I enjoyed watching so many sets and so many different players this weekend. Whether they were playing stateside or at a regional or at a major or in Japan or wherever, but a lot of great sets. I had a blast watching Ultimate this weekend. So let's keep it going. We'll keep it going again this weekend.
All right, sign us off.
And now you take us out, Gavin.
Well, we're going to get into the Patreon bonus content. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, have a good one. Thank you so much.
See you.